Welcome back. Welcome back. To Fanboys and Filthy Casual. This is Dennis.
This is Harold.
Yeah, just if you notice that I don't have my usual zeal. There you go. It's because Harold and I just had one of the best opening 10 minutes of an episode, and I forgot to click record.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
The best part being that there's two of us here.
Oh.
The two people out of the three, sorry, other guy, that actually do control the board.
Well,
and for the most part, we're like, yeah.
well, the funny part is that you were actually looking at it.
Yeah, because I saw it.
That it was different color. This is what you.
This is my job.
Yeah, this is you're the person that always laughs at me because I forget it, and the fact that we 10 minutes into it. Okay, let's recap.
I couldn't see that one.
Let's recap. Lewis is not here today. Unfortunately, Lewis is going through some medical procedure. Don't worry, it's not too bad. I can't even do the joke anymore because
I heard he was riding his bike and he ran into a twig.
Okay.
One eye.
Okay.
He's now third eye blind and second eye blind.
Lewis thought that there had to be a one-eyed Willie somewhere, and he thought he had to be that.
Yeah. He saw that they were casting for the X-Men movie. And he was like, Cyclops, I'm in.
He didn't know that was a visor. Speaking of visor, I'm hoping he's not wearing one right now.
Oh, dude. We're bringing it back. These were
better than what we were doing a while ago. Was kind of lame, to be honest with you. Okay, good. There you go. Mojo's back.
It was meant to be a mistake. Did we waste all the gold? No.
Yes.
I told you
no. The gold was gone.
Yeah, no. I told them, sometimes the oil spills and not everyone's able to capture some of the oil, but we can get some of the squirts once in a while.
Yeah, and maybe that's what happened. Something squirted into the eye, and
and now we can see clearly, unlike Lewis. Like he got one of those squid things from Mario Kart and it hit him in both eyes.
You're not supposed to do it in real life, bro. Lewis, I'm hoping once you hear this, you're going to be okay because you don't need eyes to listen.
Yeah. Eyes are the ears of the heart. Is that how it works?
Ooh, I don't care. I think that's that is going to be the slogan for her.
Also, like Dennis mentioned earlier, and you guys probably didn't hear it, is like we're not doing video on this one today, mainly because Lewis couldn't watch the video.
Yeah, we said why do a YouTube video if Lewis can't see the grandeur of himself?
Yeah, and he's our quality control guy.
Yep.
Wait a minute. Nope. No, he's not. He's our talent.
There you go. He is the talent. Like he clearly is. Like if you listen to all the, if you listen to all the documentaries of like the bands breaking up, he is the talent. He is Freddie Mercury, dude. I want to be the drummer. I forget his name, but. You can be the guitarist.
I'm thinking I can be Brian May.
Yeah,
Roger Taylor.
Okay, you're May and I'm Taylor.
Yeah.
He clearly is, Freddie Mercury.
Yeah.
Damn it. Okay, no, we're not gonna go jump into that joke. Any poopery today? We kind of had a couple of things we kind of touched upon with poopery, but. It's lost in the mist. I don't know if we can recreate the magic.
It doesn't have the surprise it didn't had the initial time that we did it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the discussion about the movie and the theories was pretty good.
Okay, yeah. So we were talking about it. Fine, I guess we'll try to.
Mainly because it's like a sequel to our last episode.
That's true. So for those people who are constant listeners, we did an episode last time where we talked about Brand New Day. Brand New Day, right? Mm-hmm. Where surprisingly, it was the first movie where Dennis, me, did not give terrible like ratings to it. Which, by the way, I was rewatching, or actually not me. My daughter's rewatching all of the Marvel movies for some reason, which I'm. By the way, I don't say that in a negative way. I'm really happy. So we or she just finished. What's the one before Endgame?
Infinity War.
Infinity War. So we were watching Infinity Wars, and she I've always talked about I never liked Tom Holland. She just realized today just that I actually might have just like hatred for him, because like as I was as we were watching, there's a scene where. The scene where what do you call this? Where Star-Lord comes in, and he's basically the reason why Thanos gets away with it. But the whole scene, I just kept on complaining how terrible Tom Holland was. I still think he's so irritating. Like, why is whiny mind? And the whole time, why they were forcing him being like a kid. Like that's what everybody says. Oh, he's great because he's actually a young Peter Parker, unlike Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, who was like in the 30 or something like that. And so we're capturing him as a young person. Like, no, you're depicting somebody who no teenager actually like talks like that, like complains like that. All the time. I know because of my profession.
Yeah.
And then she looked at me and goes, "You're so," I forget the exact word, but you're such a hater. I'm like, okay.
Valid point.
Yeah, valid point. And to double down when Tom Holland blipped, I was like, stop whining.
Everybody else has disappeared, bro. Take it like a man.
It's like, why did Tom Holland have to have like a 3-minute blip while
he got a monologue.
Yeah.
Blip. I see in the future.
Like, was that him, the British Tom Holland?
Yeah, he came out.
Okay, but yeah, so kind of a prequel. Brand new day doing gangbusters.
Yeah,
Like,
it's killing
damn,
right
dude. I think they're still expecting a second one. They're expecting like $200 million still. So, dude, amazing. Like at this point, and well deserved. A lot of flaws, I think, but like kind of what we said in the review, they put what needed to be seen for like fans, and it's right there. But two things that came about, two theories, that came about that we kind of wanted to talk about. Number one, was
did it again? Even the second time around.
Again,
it was bound to happen.
It was bound to happen because of what we're talking about today. Yeah. But Ned, one of the controversial things, I guess you could say, is that and I think Lewis was talking about how his son and his friends were like all angry and mad that like MJ didn't remember who Peter was. But two interesting theories came about. Number one is Ned. I forget Ned's name, but
Lasso.
Yeah, Ned Lasso. No, Ned Nasso. Is
Ned Nasso.
Yeah, Ned. No, it's it's Led Tasso. Remember?
Yeah, that's why it's Led Tasso.
Sorry. I have something covering my ears, unfortunately. Oh, we don't have video. Yeah, the video's never on me. Okay, cool. No, but that Ted. That Ned actually created a spell. And so for those people who haven't seen the theory, if you look back in the last Spider-Man movie, before they say goodbye, Ned and Peter does the now infamous handshake that they do. And the theory is that Ned, at that point, knowing that's going to happen, created, whether intentionally or unintentionally, created a spell that would allow him to remember who he is again. That's why the argument is that at the very beginning, when Ned sees Peter for the first time, it's like, like who are you type thing. But everybody's talking about. Even Harold said it's muscle memory and everything. But muscle memory leads to a spell, and that's why some people say that when before and after when Ned actually says Peter, it's like more familiar than how he said it at the very beginning. So, what's your take on that one, H?
That's a theory that I was telling Dennis earlier. I liked it. It's if that's the thing, and if they had, I'll use the joke again. If they had the foresight that Lewis doesn't have, they
damn it,
that's
forgot about
brilliant.
That.
Like to do that as the ultimate like hidden feature, as in like nobody's looking for this, and then digging back into the crates and being like, oh, that actually makes sense, and having it kind of part of the storyline would be interesting.
Yeah, I think if they can, whether intentional or unintentionally, it's an interesting aspect now, because for a fact that one of the things, I don't know if you read all the books, but when the comic book version of this where he forgets in the comic book version where this does happen. Like everybody was clamoring for like 2 years. All the issues was clamoring for MJ and Peter to come back, and while some people liked it, most people were like, no, this is dumb, this is stupid, shouldn't happen, everything, and they just kept on going. Unless they're going with that, it's almost for sure that it's going to go back to normal. At least I'm guessing. It depends on how long they're going to extend it, I guess. But if this is the case, this is one plausible way to do it. Would be good. The other possibility that I was talking about, and we talked about a while ago, is that MJ. MJ was one of the people that was the person everybody was hoping was going to remember, and I did say it in the last episode. It would be a complete waste if after that kiss MJ remembers who Peter is.
Yeah.
And most people were kind of expecting it. I was expecting it, but in a negative way. But thankfully MJ does not remember. But during the battle, where Jean Grey is able to stop everybody, everybody is panicked. Even Ned. Even Ned was there like frozen and everything. But all the scenes you only see people frozen. But for some reason, MJ's character is actually crying and a lot of tears. And afterwards, we see MJ actually go to the rooftop where her and Peter hung out, and he actually takes out the necklace. And now the new theory is that Jean Grey, through the psychic whammy that he does, actually makes him remember who Peter is. So personally, I kind of like that theory, but along with what you were saying, it's a little too subtle,
Yeah. This is the movie in general. I mean, fans of the MCU in general, I think they need the most obvious thing to be shown to their faces. Because otherwise you have discussions like this. And maybe that's what they're trying to do. But for the most part, when they do the MCU stuff, it's like, here it is. This is exactly what you were thinking. And now you get to see it straight to your face. Yeah. Because we know that you can't think for yourself for more than just a minute here. Mm-hmm. So it's like, let us do the thinking for you. And this is what's happening. And then now, maybe because it is like it's a new director, this is actually a dude that, the projects he's had in the past are the most intellectually stimulating ones that the MCU has probably ever created in Shang-Chi and in Wonder Man. And you have him come out here and you do this as his first project for the second or whatever phase of MCU this is. So who knows? He could be a different thing. He could be the opposite of the Russo brothers, where he's like, figure it out for yourselves. And then if you're right, then we'll, award you with a prize.
Gotcha. Last thing, and I didn't mention this a while ago, is when we talked about Peter, and me, Tom Holland, hate everywhere. I saw an interesting reel because I'm old yesterday, and the whole thing was, why the whole thing was that why does it goes why is Tom Holland's Spider-Man why does Tom Holland's Spider-Man move differently compared to the others, meaning Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire. Did you know that he was a professional, I guess not professional, but a well-trained ballet?
Yeah.
And I didn't know that.
He did Billy Elliot as a child.
Oh.
So that's the joke that Zendaya has for him. And it's like he did an interview when he was a kid and he answered like, he's like, I'm playing Billy. I don't want to do it right now. But, he was, so he's a trained theater actor. But then to learn the part of Billy Elliot, he was a ballet dancer. So, yeah. And he did parkour. Parker did parkour.
Yeah, I didn't know I hated people who did ballet. I thought they were all people with good people. Turns out not every
completely wrong.
Not every ballet person is a good person.
Can I just say, I think I just made one of my favorite things, a joke that we just in our group chat, where we're making fun of Lewis for not being able to see. That's why he's not here today, but he is somehow able to look at the smallest screen possible. That he's still engaged in our group chat, and we were asking him like, dude, how are you still reading the thing? And he's like, I'm literally typing with one eye. And I said, why don't you use your fingers?
This is why Lewis hurt himself. He was using his eyeball to type. Oh my God.
The whole time. Like our phones have like face recognition.
Okay, this is a
Samsung is way more advanced than Apple.
This is a PSA for Samsung users. Turns out,
don't start typing with your eyes.
Don't use your eyes to type with anything. You have fingers.
Yeah, just like in regular life, either use your fingers or use your mouth. You know what I'm saying?
Damn it. Okay, on to the last thing today, or the main thing today. Harold, every so often, like, changes my life. Like he was the one who introduced me to Community. Even though Community was a terrible first episode, I for the most part, most of the seasons I actually liked. You're the one who kind of brought me into the Brooklyn Nine-Nine fold. You and Kerja brought me into the what do you call this? The Good Place. Mm-hmm. So Harold every so often has really good recommendations. He knows what I like. I know that sounds bad, but he knows what I like, and he's able to deliver. For the longest time, I just popped into my head.
It just popped out of Lewis's head.
Every so often there's shows where I just refuse to watch. Game of Thrones and all those things. But there was one where I didn't. It's not like I was refusing, but it was more of I already had so many subscription services that I couldn't justify doing it just for one show. It was a show that Harold was talking about, a show called Ted Lasso, and it had a couple of things going against it. One is it's on Apple TV. Second one, it's about soccer. And it's like, how can you like the show? How can anybody like a show about soccer? But it had a couple of things. The one thing that was going for it was Bill Lawrence. Bill Lawrence is, somebody like I like his stuff. And so, if eventually, finally, I think it was before the first season or the last season was coming out. I think it was a couple months before the last season. So I was able to get a hold of somebody's account, I think, and I was able to watch it. And lo and behold, I actually liked it so much so that I think the third season I was watching it more, and I was more invested in it than you. That I think I remember I do remember the series finale. I was asking, did you watch it? Did you watch it?
Yeah.
And you and Courage hadn't watched it yet. So, you know, out of nowhere, I think I've said it before. Ted Lasso is one of my favorite endings of a TV show. Not the best. Maybe we can look back into it, but I just don't think I agreed with everything.
Yeah.
But Ted Lasso 4 was something, season 4, something that nobody thought was going to happen. Even Jason Sudeikis
Yeah.
said was never, ever going to happen. But lo and behold, it is here. So Harold and I decided we were going to talk about the first episode of season 4. Okay. We don't normally do a loose reviews here, but just, just the idea is that Ted is back, right?
Yeah.
And
That's the best lose views you can.
yeah, Ted's back.
Ted got invited to, invited for another job interview.
Yeah. So if you've seen the previews, you know this. You know what's going to happen. The only thing is that this is like an homage to Kansas barbecue. Yeah. Slash what's the name? It's Kansas City and. Is it Missouri, yeah. Like, it's still. I have to maybe check geography and check map to get the joke. But people who've been watching, who are reviewing, saying that it's like a homage of like the what's what and where's where in that area. So, we just kind of want to talk about it. The Ted Lasso and the gang is back. Well, at least not everybody, but a good portion of it. What did you think so far, H?
Let's see. We'll go into the discussion of those things later.
Yeah.
But in terms of the flow of the show, it feels like the interruption was so rough that reintroducing everybody was a little strange. Like it didn't feel like it fit at least the last season. Or not. It didn't. It felt like a great continuation of season 3. Season 3 was okay. But
Which is interesting because the one thing that both seasons have in common is no Bill Lawrence.
Yeah.
So maybe that's
he could, like, Bill Lawrence could be. I mean, he is the creator, but like, how when Dan Harmon left Community for a few seasons, they were like, it doesn't quite feel like Community. So it like visually it looks like Ted Lasso
a little. And I was going to ask you that.
It's not as dark. Like literally, maybe it's because it's in London, where London it's a little bit foggier.
Yeah, no, that's why I was trying to figure out if it was the location or if they had chosen a different settings on their camera.
Maybe even that is like a choice, where it's like, let's show that he came from a place that was super happy, super bright, and then he chose for his life and to do different things to go to this somewhat darker and a little bit murkier place.
Which, by the way, one of the more interesting things that people were talking about that I actually started getting into is the idea that the first 3 seasons always had a theme of every so often will pop up the idea of the Wizard of Oz. And then some people were saying that this time around it's like Ted Lasso is supposed to be Dorothy, and you have Scarecrow, you have the Cowardly Lion, and the Tin Man trying to convince Dorothy to go back to Kansas, which may be the reason why the coloring is going to be different.
That's interesting.
And then later on, when we get back to England, it's going to be all back to the way it is. Who knows? I guess we'll see.
That's a good theory.
Yeah.
But I think the good point. The humor seems a little bit different. Maybe it's because, and this is just personal preferences, is like after 3 years of having Ted being super positive all the time, and then occasionally it's like he comes back with, and those are the best episodes. This is like where Ted gets to be the mask is off for just a little bit, and then this one it was like Ted being Ted for the first half of an episode, and then for the last half he was like, yeah, things change. And it's interesting to see it in Kansas, in the place that he's always projected as this grand place for everybody to visit, and they're actually getting to experience it for the first time. That was the funnest part. like Keely and them getting to do all the stuff in Kansas. That was the fun part, and then everything else was like it was cool. It was okay.
Was Ted being Ted the first half though? Like I have to tell you this. I stopped. I pressed pause in the show, and I turned to my wife, and I was like, I don't like it, and specifically because it didn't seem like Ted to me. It was Ted, but with it, like I was telling you, it's almost like Sudeikis is forcing the
That's
old
what it is.
Ted.
Yeah.
And I kind of want to ask this: intentional or not?
That's what we don't know yet. Because at this point, like, that's a good question. Because if you had been playing the same character for X amount of years, who's completely different from you in real life, and then everybody would assume that you're the kind of the sunny disposition guy, and then you take a break from being the sunny disposition guy, and then they make you come back. Can you find that character again? And if you can't find him, do you come as close as you can to how originally people used to feel about him? Because, yeah, it feels like the whole faux sense of positivity. And whereas original Ted was like, you just find the positives in everything.
But here's my argument to this is that one of my, and which by the way, I guess to help this discussion, what do you think of season 3 as a whole? Like we don't need to go to individual, but what do you think it was?
It was a little jumbled.
Why was it jumbled?
There was no central character. Like, cause it's been a while since I've watched it. Since the original.
I've watched it way too many times.
I know my account says that you've watched it several times. Yeah. I was like, why am I in season 3? I was like, wait a minute. Sorry.
No. So after having watched it way too many times, like Ted Lasso has become my my Back to the Future.
Okay.
Like, it's comfort viewing.
Yeah.
Like every so often, I want to watch this episode. I want to. So everybody seems to be in agreement that season 3 was not good. But I actually thought season 3 was amazing because all of those quote unquote no central character actually for me led to Ted finding that decision on his own without it being it was a subtle way of Ted understanding, realizing what he ended up doing. And my favorite Ted moments were actually like 3 seasons. My favorite Ted moments were the Ted moments where Jason Sudeikis is actually doing exactly what I was thinking. That it's the uncomfortable Ted. It's the Ted that you don't know what is he actually okay? Is he not okay? Like one of my favorite moments is I think the second to the last or episode where Ted and his mom, Ted confronts his mom, and he basically says, thank you, but F you, type thing. I thought that was when I was like, my God, this is such a great character. And that's what I was thinking was happening in the first, because I was like, because everybody was saying, well, he's supposed to be good, he's supposed to be the positive Ted, but why would he be positive though?
Yeah,
like there's no reason for him, and I came to the conclusion that the reason why, and maybe you're right, maybe it's just he's finding his and we don't know, and he's finding his character again. But for me, it spoke more. It was jarring, and I realized, my God, it's not because he hasn't found it, but it's because we're supposed to feel uncomfortable. Because if Ted was happy, and imagine if we first part of it was we were like, Jason Sudeikis is on it. He's regular Ted. What's the purpose for him to move?
Yeah, true.
at the end of it was weird. I knew it was gonna happen, but at the end of the whole thing, I was like, yeah, he really needs to get out of there. He needs to be in London. He needs to be doing something because there were so many parts like, just him and the coach, the interaction with the coach. That bugged me. Just him, watching Henry being not humiliated, but kind of scolded.
Yeah.
Like he was still trying to do his cheerleader, but there was so many uncomfortable moments, and then it wasn't until at the very end where he was texting Henry, or it was Henry and the mom, I guess.
Yeah.
And he finally, it was at that moment, like, oh, okay, I see where this is going. And that's for me, at least that was my interpretation. Okay. I actually really liked the episode. Okay. Just because of that. That if, like, for me, if it was back to form, everybody was, doing it. Mm-hmm. I think it would have been, I would have not liked it as much. But there was one thing that I definitely didn't like. Mm-hmm. Can you guess?
Higgins?
Yeah. What was that, dude?
That's so random.
Like, I get what they're doing, and that's going to be their connection to, as like, why we have to care for the new team, because you and I talked about it, that this is going to be one of the biggest challenges. This is why I openly said I don't think it's going to do well in terms of like ratings, because there's going to be people who are automatically going to be like, harumph, and maybe that's why they had that joke with the middle finger guy. That he goes, "Welcome back, coach. Too bad you're coaching a bunch of girls."
Yeah,
you know what I mean, maybe this is their way to counteract that.
They could be openly embracing the criticism and like preparing themselves for any kind of blowback. Mm-hmm. Which, who knows if it'll work? Because it could, you could prepare yourself and be like, okay, these are the criticisms they're going to give us. Let's counter it with these points to make sure that, thing. But then what if you go too heavy-handed? Mm-hmm. And then you're like, okay.
Which that part was.
Very much.
Like the fact
that whole thing was weirdly heavy-handed.
You were talking about like breaks and everything. Yeah. That one was like, the moment it went to that, I was like, what
storyline is this?
Like everything, like even the whole Keeley and Rebecca Keeley being oblivious to the possible tension that's going to happen down the line. But yeah, I was like, oh, this is going to be a funny Higgins moment where he's going to be at the jazz museum.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh.
It took a hard turn.
Oh. and there was no, like, I was waiting for the gentleman who was running the I can't use that word, the League Museum.
Oh, yes.
But at the end, when he was like, yeah, is there a gift shop? I thought he was going to say something to kind of like alleviate Higgins's like uncomfortability. He just played into it. And I was like, ooh, yeah, like good. Like I forget the actor's name. Good job playing the uncomfortable, person.
Yeah,
realizing the privilege that he has, and
yes,
because man,
it's okay. Weird.
Oh, so what? I just talked about it. What do you think? You're saying that?
No, it was. I think my issue is with the show itself is like season 1. Probably one of my favorite seasons of TV ever made. Mm. Along the lines of like, a community kind of good place kind of stuff. And then season 2 was fantastic as well. And then I think it's just because there, like you said, there's like a little tonal change for season 3, and you're okay with that. And I was okay with it. And then it wasn't even other people being like, dude, this show has gone bad all of a sudden. I don't know. It's just because, like I said, not so much it was all over the place, but the ideas themselves were a little bit jumbled. Mm-hmm. Yes, we're always going to get the things of like, we're going to talk about other people's personal lives. We're going to talk about other business ventures outside of what we're doing here, because that's what you do in a sports thing. But I think it was just the central idea of like clashes between teammates, clashes with personalities and everything, and then not somehow really resolving anything at the end. And only, for the most part, it only really gave happy endings to maybe Ted and possibly Rebecca, because
Did Ted really have a happy ending? Like,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, not the happiest ending, but he came to an actual decision.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, yeah, this decision sucks. And then so now you have the continuation of what are the consequences of that decision. I did like the fact that he was working at a supermarket, because we all know, I'm pretty sure he made millions of dollars coaching in, football over in Europe, because apparently those guys make tons of money.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that was kind of fun. I liked.
Did you get the Easter egg with who runs the supermarket?
No, who ran the supermarket?
The guy eating Butterfingers or the candy. That's Ronnie Fouch is the person that at the beginning, who he says that his friend pooped into a Butterfingers thing. That's the guy supposedly. And so the Easter egg is at the very end. He's eating.
No, it's like, why is he eating? Damn it! It's been a while since I've thought about this show.
Yeah,
I think also at the same
that's what
time.
I'm telling you.
You're
All the
deep into it.
rewatches, and then when I realized it was coming, I was like, I got to rewatch the whole thing. And then I finally convinced my wife, so I rewatched it again with her.
Yeah, I like that. Every time I've come here in the past month, like I walk upstairs and you're watching Ted Lasso, and I'm like, cool.
To prep for this episode.
Yeah, but also, honestly, I had no idea. I knew the show was coming back. Mm-hmm. I didn't realize it was coming back
This soon.
Yeah. I was like, maybe later on, because the show to me feels like a great autumn show. Mm-hmm. Like you plan it so that the episodes kind of coincide with Christmas, because they're really great with like Christmas holiday stuff.
Oh, you're right. There has to be a Christmas episode.
Yeah. And then I'm like, now in the middle of summer, it's a strange place.
Yeah.
But also smart if you're going for the after World Cup kind of crowd.
Which they should have done it. Like
They should have done it
before,
immediately, either like right around there. But whatever happens. And then so when it showed up, like I got the notification on my phone. It's like Ted Lasso season 4 is now out. And I was like, really? Now? And I thought it was going to be the whole. I knew it was going to be weekly. But the way they put it in the text message, you don't receive these text messages.
Oh, I don't.
But like the way they put it, it's like Ted Lasso season 4 is out now, and I was like, the whole thing. And then I was like, oh, dude, do I have the stamina and the ability to watch this whole series like right now? And then I looked, and it just said the first episode.
What day was it?
Wednesday or Tuesday? Tuesday or Wednesday, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I need to incorporate it into my my schedule.
Yeah, we'll just leave the thing. We'll leave that chat open. And then, yeah. So kind of dropped out of nowhere. I think maybe I'm out of the loop in terms of like how marketing applies to people nowadays. Because
Says the marketer.
Yes, for our podcast.
That explains things.
Actual job, but like it's weird because
I was wondering why you wanted to send out flyers.
Yeah, it's crazy that I wanted to hang out on the corner and be like, podcast. I did it in harmony. I was like, podcast. I hired Boys to Men just to do that on the corner. But it's now that it's back, I am gonna watch it weekly. Try as much as possible to get it on the same day. But yeah, the first episode it was good. I'm not gonna say it was one of my favorites, and I'm pretty much gonna be like the only reason it was memorable is because it was the first episode back. But looking back in the scheme of things, I'm not gonna be like I remembered that first episode.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when I rewatch, I'm gonna have to rewatch again. But definitely, I would not put it up there as one of the best ones. We were kind of talking about you kind of mentioned it, but it's gotten a pretty good. I think Rotten Tomatoes has it hovering around 80% approval, so it's pretty good. But there are some criticism. I think the number one criticism that everybody's getting is kind of what you kind of mentioned, because even right at the very beginning, you're already seeing storylines. What's going to happen with Henry? with Michelle, Ted's wife, coming in. What's going to happen with Ted and Michelle? You have Rebecca and the Dutch guy, and then you have Rebecca and Keely, and then you have Keely and Roy. So there's a lot of storylines already there, and it's just the very beginning, and you still haven't even touched upon who are the characters for the women's team, and how is the relationship with Ted going to be. So I kind of agree that there's a chance that's going to be oversaturated with, if you didn't like season 3's multi character arcs going on at the same time, then
this is going to be a tough follow.
Yeah, exactly.
It is a follow that has to be earned. Like, you can't just jump into. I mean, like a lot of TV shows, you can't just jump into it without knowing any of the backstory. And I do like the, him saying the series is back, but only a few people are coming back for it. Mm-hmm. And as far as I know, it's just Roy, right?
Yeah, Roy. Well, and Beard.
And Roy, Beard, Nate.
I don't think Nate's for sure.
I don't know. I've seen a lot of things where he's just randomly there.
Oh, okay.
Not like actual marketing materials.
Oh, okay.
I think it's just, maybe not as a regular character, but
maybe it's gonna be like May and the
guys,
the hooligans.
Yeah, the hooligans. But yeah, I saw the mention from Jamie. Oh yeah, in the first episode,
and you see Trent's fabulous hair.
Yeah,
I wonder who he's back with the Independent. I didn't see which
publication he's working for.
Yeah. Hopefully he's not. That means he's not independent anymore.
Yeah.
Damn it. Okay, cool. The other thing is, you said at the very beginning, was this return necessary? And I guess I'm going to add it. Is that going to be a danger? Like King of the Hill came in and realized, oh crap! I don't know if you've seen the newest season. It's actually good. Like I like it better than the first season 14. The
comeback season.
Yeah, but then Futura, like there are shows where there's not that you understand why it's there, but it worked. So I guess my question to you is, I know this is predicting, but was it necessary, and will that affect? From what we've seen, might it affect its future?
That's tough. I didn't think it was necessary, because I think, like you talked about, the series ended finale was almost perfect. It was great. Like, how do you come back from something like that? Do you have to get a better series finale? Does the show after the series finale have to be better than what you left off in? Because I think it'll be the same mistake that Scrubs made, where you had that almost perfect finale, and then it was like, by the way, they're coming back next season, not full cast. And this is how it feels. It feels like Bill Lawrence has taken a step back and be like, okay, run the thing, use the project name, and do whatever you must with the property, but it might be a little bit different. And I don't think per se that he is the heart of it, because I think he just manages the show itself. Yeah. But Jason Sudeikis is the character creator and everything, and he's the one that said, I had so much more. He's like, I just came up with it. Like, the ideas just came to me. And I'm like, I'm hoping it doesn't poo-poo so much on the original reputation. I don't think it will. I don't think there's anything, unless it's overtly awful, that it's going to ruin
the first 3 seasons.
Yeah, whatever goodwill was created from the original run. But I just hope it's not so or mediocre where you're like, it should have ended.
Yeah.
But
personally, I don't know. I wanted it to come back. And maybe it's a selfish thing, because I didn't get to experience it grow. I got to experience it end.
Yeah.
I think part of the discovery, like the slow discovery, might have been good, but at the same time, I told you, I think it was perfect. I just disagreed with the ending.
Yeah.
Like, look, I'm a father, and I would do anything for my child, but at the same time, you have to do something for yourself as well. Like, I mean, hell, like, what do you call this? You know, Rebecca was offering Ted all the solutions. She's gonna be rich. I'm gonna bring your son and your ex-wife over here. He's gonna have the best, education ever. All
Yeah.
these things, and he's like, no, I'm gonna be. But you could be with him,
Yeah,
if
over
you're
there.
here, and it's
Which is kind of weird now that's the
Yeah.
preface for the series now is like
yeah,
you had the opportunity.
yeah.
Like
Because-
this could have been continuous. And
Yeah, because even Rebecca says it was even offering, like, she can take classes. She's going to become the head of the whole thing, and she's complaining. Michelle's complaining because she's not the boss. Here it is,
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm hoping personally. I'm hoping it's going to be great because I want to be able to experience. Supposedly, Sudeikis has 3 seasons of this.
Okay.
So
That's fair.
So, but whether or not it's going to, whether or not it's going to succeed, we still have to see. Because as of right now, it's, like I'm on the camp that I thought it was great. Some people don't seem to, but we'll have to see.
Yeah.
Okay.
As long as it has the perfect mix of positivity, charm, humor, and then once in a while some kind of seriousness, then I'll be all for it. If they somehow, stray from that formula, then I'll be like, maybe it wasn't worth it.
But can you think of? I mean, there was always seriousness to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's always. I mean, but it has to be like, it has to be the smallest amount of the mixture. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like it has to be an important amount of the mixture. It's one of those things where it's like the thing doesn't get made well unless it has that piece in it. But if it isn't for the lightness for everything else, then it doesn't make that heaviness as appropriate.
Yeah, because when we talking about the mom and Ted thing, like, you have the uncomfortability of him being kind of like, oh, my mom is irritating type thing.
Yeah.
But it was all fun and jokes. It was excitement. It was soccer and everything. And then the last 10 minutes was serious.
Yeah.
I think if they're able to manage something like that, without it being forced, I think because what did you think of the McAdoo and I forgot his name, the whole
The whole Colin thing.
yeah, Colin, there it is.
I like that part.
Yeah.
That was good because it is a whole them being the background friends in both. Season 1 they're hardly in anything. In season 2 they're
Becomes kind of
the closest thing, and then the third season they're main characters.
So as long as they can earn those moments,
Exactly.
I
The same thing with in season 2 where you're like, everybody has their opinions about Jamie and everything, and then up until then you're like, he's kind of whatever, and you don't do anything about his character until his dad. You see in season 1 where his dad was trashing him, and then in season 2 where he full on pretty much does that, and then that moment is not earned if Jamie isn't a prick for the rest of the
I agree.
So
I agree. I want my goal, and this is gonna be my measure of how much of a success it is that one of my favorite moments in the final episode is the final match, and you see Jamie Tart go look at me like if you can't establish a character that much, that something as subtle, it's funny to hear or to read that some people don't identify that as a turning point, that was for season 1, what I mean, and some people, because they weren't maybe not paying attention, they don't get that. But if you can't get that connection, I think it's going to be a failure.
yeah.
Okie dokie. Well, wow. Okay, impressed, buddy. Maybe should we do there's the Game of Thrones thing. Should we do a Ted Lasso watch?
Well, the only reason those things are successful is because we also have Krisha in them.
Oh, that's hey. You and I are here.
We're doing okay.
Yeah, you and I are here. I'm saying
you and I are here because you and I are here.
Okay. If you like that witty repartee right there, the banter. If you, oh my God, that's what it meant. No, I'm joking.
You're talking about the ad.
The ad, yeah. Come on! I thought it was. I thought you were there with me. Okay.
You know what's missing from the banter, though, right?
What?
There's no E in it.
Yeah,
there's
an I. Damn it! It would have been so perfect. Imagine.
We should get these.
A vowel. Okay. If you like this episode,
his name is Loose because there's no I in Loose. Sorry, go ahead.
If you like this episode, and there are a lot of good episodes, especially the ones without Lewis. You can take the two fanboys, one casual.pommy.com, and you can take a look at our Facebook because we are still old, and that's how I check my reels. You can take a look at the two fanboys, one casual, and Harold.
You can find all of our socials, even though I'm not on them. Two fanboys, I'm pretty sure it's the right one. Two fanboys, one casual, and anywhere you find your favorite podcast, we're there as well. YouTube.com/@2fanboys, one casual. This will be an audio only version on there, but then look for next week. Or no. Yeah,
hopefully yeah.
Yeah.
Depends on the talent.
Depends.
That's it for us today. This is two fanboys and fanboys and filthy casual. I'm practicing my Dutch. This is Dennis.
This is Harold.
And this is Lewis without an I. See you later.
Aye.